Was the camera really accidentally drawn to Jungkook? Inside the New Year's Live that sparked dangerous 2026 speculation about Bang Si-hyuk's next move, was it truly just a warm New Year's greeting? Or was the world quietly shown a blueprint for what BTS will become in 2026? When 7 familiar silhouettes appeared together on screen to welcome a new year, millions of fans believed they were witnessing nothing more than celebration, relief, and reunion. But as the cheers faded and the clips replayed endlessly across social media, one uncomfortable question began to surface again and again, growing louder with each replay. Why did the spotlight feel magnetically pulled toward Jungkook? This question did not emerge out of thin air, nor was it born from reckless imagination. It emerged from observation, repetition, and memory. ARMY has long been known not just for passion, but for pattern recognition. And on the night BTS greeted 2026, something felt different. Something felt deliberate. The live broadcast on Weverse, aired on December 31st, 2025, was designed to feel intimate. A cozy room, a glowing Christmas tree, casual clothing, relaxed smiles. BTS sitting together as if the world was not watching, even as more than 2.8 million viewers tuned in live and sent over 32.9 million hearts flooding the screen in real time. RM, Jin, Suga, J-Hope, Jimin, V, and Jungkook waved, laughed, and shouted their way into the new year, closing a long chapter defined by military service and solo paths. On paper, it was perfect, and yet, perfection often hides intention. The 28-second clip uploaded by the fan account at Seekjin File on X exploded instantly, amassing over 142,000 likes, 56,000 reposts, thousands of quotes, and close to 1 million views within hours. Hashtags like #BTS New Year 2026 and #Happy BTS Year surged worldwide, including in Indonesia, where ARMY filled timelines with screenshots, emotional messages, and declarations that 2026 would finally be BTS year. Fans celebrated openly. "This year will be the best for us," one wrote. Others laughed at RM's visible excitement to leave 2025 behind. Many simply cried, overwhelmed by the sight of all 7 members together again. But beneath the celebration, a quieter, sharper analysis was unfolding. "Watch the clip again," fans urged. "Then watch it again. And again." Who is the camera drawn to when the laughter peaks? Whose reactions are captured cleanly, repeatedly, almost instinctively? Whose face becomes the emotional anchor when the energy rises? Time after time, the answer was Jungkook. Jungkook laughing freely. Jungkook reacting instantly. Jungkook leaning forward, clapping, eyes bright, fully alive in the moment. While every member appeared, Jungkook felt unusually central, not by positioning alone, but by framing. The camera did not just record him, it trusted him. For casual viewers, this might mean nothing. For ARMY, it meant everything, because BTS history has taught fans a dangerous lesson. Nothing involving BTS's public narrative is ever random. Over the years, subtle choices have often preceded major shifts. A line dropped casually months before a comeback. A member quietly emphasized in promotional visuals long before a solo era. A small moment later revealed to be the first domino. ARMY remembers these patterns well, which is why the New Year's Live triggered not just joy, but suspicion. Was Jungkook simply in a good mood that night? Or was the production subtly positioning him as the emotional center of BTS's post-military era? And if so, who would orchestrate such a shift? The conversation inevitably circled back to Bang Si-hyuk, as the founder of HYB and the long-term architect of BTS's global trajectory. Bang Si-hyuk has never been a man of impulsive decisions. His strategy has always favored slow burns over loud declarations, emotional investment over forced messaging. He understands something many executives do not. Audiences accept change more easily when they believe they discovered it themselves. An era, in his world, does not begin with an announcement. It begins with attention. Jungkook's role within BTS has always been paradoxical. He is the youngest, yet often the most universally accessible. The golden magne, yet also the most mainstream-ready. Vocally versatile, visually magnetic, and emotionally transparent, Jungkook has long functioned as BTS's bridge to audiences beyond the fandom. During the group's military hiatus, that reality became impossible to ignore. Jungkook's solo releases did not simply perform well. They dominated global charts, penetrated Western radio, and positioned him unmistakably as a global pop force rather than a niche idol. By the time BTS reunited, Jungkook was no longer just a member returning to a group. He was a symbol of BTS's continued relevance on the world's biggest stages, which is precisely why the New Year's Live felt loaded with meaning. BTS has always emphasized unity. No official center, no declared leader beyond RM's role, no face of the group, narrative pushed at the expense of others. That balance is sacred to ARMY, and any perceived disruption triggers immediate debate. Yet the New Year's Live did not break that balance outright. It nudged it. Jungkook did not dominate the conversation. He did not overshadow his members. He simply existed vividly, and the camera followed him as if instinctively drawn. Some fans rejected the theory outright, calling it overanalysis. Jungkook has always been expressive, they argued. Of course the camera catches him reacting. To assign strategy to Joy risks poisoning a beautiful moment. Others pushed back harder. Production choices matter, they said. Even informal lives have operators, angles, and decisions. When millions are watching, framing becomes narrative. And narrative, especially at this stage of BTS's career, is currency. The timing intensified the speculation. 2026 is not just another year. It is the first full year of BTS reunited after fulfilling military duty. It is the reset, the relaunch, the moment the global industry has been waiting for. Tours are expected. New music is anticipated. Brand partnerships, collaborations, and global campaigns are inevitable. In such a moment, positioning is not cosmetic. It is strategic. Could Bang Si-hyuk be preparing the world for a subtle shift in focus, using Jungkook as the emotional and visual gateway to BTS's next chapter? Not replacing the group identity, but amplifying its most globally resonant figure. History suggests this would not be unprecedented. Different eras have highlighted different members organically. RM during early Western expansion. Jimin during emotionally driven artistic phases. V during fashion and luxury dominance. Jungkook during moments demanding universal appeal. But the scale is different now. K-pop no longer fights for recognition. It fights for dominance. And in that fight, Jungkook's image, voice, and adaptability become powerful assets. If BTS's next era aims not to enter global pop culture, but to lead it, Jungkook's prominence feels less like favoritism and more like calculation. Indonesian ARMY mirrored this debate intensely. Screenshots circled social media, highlighting Jungkook's expressions and camera focus. "They made my New Year special," one fan wrote, while another asked more pointedly, "Why does it feel like the camera keeps choosing Jungkook?" Replies followed quickly. Because 2026 is already telling us something. The emotional weight of these discussions cannot be understated. BTS's return is not just a professional milestone. It is deeply personal for fans who waited, defended, and believed through years of absence. Any hint of change feels monumental, and yet, Bang Si-hyuk's greatest strength has always been restraint. An O announcement was made that night. No promise was given. No future was declared. Only a feeling lingered. A sense that something is shifting quietly, carefully, almost invisibly. If an era Jungkook is truly approaching, the New Year's Live may not have been its beginning, but its whisper. The most compelling aspect of the theory is not how loudly it announces itself, but how gently it unfolds.
No spotlight.
No solo stage. Just repeated presence. Repeated trust from the camera. Repeated emotional resonance. And media strategy. Subtlety often carries more power than spectacle. As 2026 progresses, ARMY will watch closely. Every live broadcast, every interview, every teaser image. Patterns will be tracked. Framing will be questioned. Silence will be analyzed as much as sound. The New Year's Live did not answer the question it raised. And perhaps that is exactly why it mattered. BTS ended 2025 not with a declaration, but with an invitation to speculate. A reminder that in their universe, the smallest moments often carry the largest clues. As the world steps fully into 2026, the question remains unresolved, echoing through timelines and comment sections alike. Was the camera's attraction to Jungkook merely the natural pull of his presence, or was it the first calculated move in a carefully constructed narrative that will define BTS's next global era? In the world of BTS, coincidence has always been a dangerous word. If coincidence has always been a dangerous word in the BTS universe, then silence may be even more dangerous. Because after the New Year's Live ended, neither HYB nor Bang Si-hyuk rushed to clarify anything. There was no denial, no reassurance, no framing of the moment as just a casual broadcast. And for ARMY, silence has never meant nothing. Silence is space. And space invites interpretation. As the clip continued to circulate, international fan communities began slowing it down frame by frame. This was not hysteria, this was habit. BTS fans have learned that what looks spontaneous often carries layers of intention. The angle that lingers half a second longer. The reaction shot chosen instead of another. The subtle emphasis that does not scream, but suggests, again and again, Jungkook's expressions became the visual punctuation of the live. When laughter erupted, the camera found him. When energy spiked, his face anchored the moment. When the mood softened, his smile lingered just long enough to be remembered. This was not dominance. It was gravity, and gravity, in media, is rarely accidental. What unsettled some fans was not the idea of Jungkook being highlighted, but the timing of it. This was not a comeback stage, not a solo showcase, not a promotional interview. This was supposed to be neutral territory, a shared space where all 7 members simply existed together after years apart. Yet even here, Jungkook felt positioned as the emotional pulse. Why now? Industry watchers outside the fandom quietly noticed the same thing. Entertainment commentators in South Korea and abroad pointed out how naturally Jungkook commanded attention without overt effort. Western top media, already familiar with his solo chart dominance, framed him once again as BTS's most globally readable figure. Not officially, not aggressively, but consistently. And consistency is where speculation turns serious. Bang Si-hyuk has always understood global psychology. He knows that Western audiences often latch onto one figure first before exploring a group more deeply. This pattern has repeated across decades of pop history. What makes BTS different is that they resisted allowing that dynamic to fracture their identity. But resistance does not mean ignorance. It means control. Control over when and how focus shifts. If BTS is entering a post-military era where the stakes are higher than ever, it would be naive to believe that strategy is absent. The group is no longer proving itself. It is protecting its legacy while expanding its future. And legacies require evolution. An era Jungkook, if it exists, does not mean Jungkook above BTS. It means Jungkook as the lens through which the world re-enters BTS. This distinction matters deeply, yet it is often lost in emotional reactions. Some fans fear imbalance. Others fear erasure. But strategy does not require sacrifice. It requires alignment. Jungkook's accessibility does not diminish RM's leadership, Jimin's artistry, V's mystique, Suga's depth, Jin's presence, or J-Hope's rhythm. Instead, it can function as a gateway, pulling broader audiences into a universe where all 7 remain essential. The New Year's Live hinted at this philosophy without naming it. Notice how Jungkook did not lead the conversation. He did not deliver a defining speech. He did not claim symbolic authority. Instead, he embodied energy. He reacted, responded, amplified. He made the moment feel alive. And the camera rewarded that aliveness. That reward is what fans recognized instantly. In Indonesia, where BTS's influence runs especially deep, discussions grew more emotional by the hour. Some fans expressed pride, seeing Jungkook's prominence as proof of BTS's unstoppable reach. Others expressed anxiety, worried that the group's delicate equilibrium might shift too far in one direction. Yet both sides agreed on one thing. Something felt intentional. Even those who rejected the era Jungkook theory admitted the live felt different. Not louder, not bigger, just pointed. And then there is the question no one can answer yet. If this was intentional, what comes